Hi, I am Emily. I am the founder of Braid Babes. Let me start by saying that Braid Babes is my whole life. Even my hobbies I've put into my life so that I can take care of myself, so that I can show up the best for Braid Babes. It is everything. Anyways, let me tell you how I became the owner of a braiding company, because it's really so random. I actually never was into hair. I actually didn't even know how to do my own hair. My hair was up, half up, or down, and that was it. I actually was in technology, and I worked at a startup company in downtown Buffalo, 9 to 5, at the computer all day, and I just started feeling a little unfulfilled. I had just gone through a breakup, and I had this book under my bed for about 7 years, and it was a braiding book. I opened it up and I was like, this author probably has an Instagram. It's 2018, of course she has an Instagram. So I pulled up her profile, did not even open the book to this day. And on her stories, she was starting a braid challenge in 5 days when I looked at it. And so I joined this 30-day braid challenge. It was a different braid every morning. So every morning I put this braid in my hair, and then I had just gotten the new phone with portrait mode. Portrait mode was brand new, no one had it. So we would go outside with my friends, literally my 9 to 5 job, we would go out on the roof like during work hours and take photos of my braids. They were okay. It's funny, you can go back on my profile and look at my original braids. Even my manager one day was like, I can't take you seriously with those braids in your hair, because it was a princess with the 2 buns on top. Then my life took this weird turn. It's just weird how all these events kind of worked out. But basically, I got this contracting role and left my full-time job. So with this more flexible contracting role, I had time in the mornings to do my braids. And then by about day 15 of the braid challenge, all of my friends started asking me to braid their hair, so I started braiding other people. By about day 30 of the braid challenge, Blush Boutique in downtown Buffalo asked me to braid at their grand opening in East Aurora. So that was my first time at braiding strangers. I was so scared, and a few of the braids came out actually not great, and I had to redo them or fix them, or there was bobby pin showing. This whole thing happened where I got good at braids, but then I also had to learn how to do buns and how to curl hair and how to do bridal hair, and then feed-in braids. I liked the feed-in braids, but it was just crazy. I started braiding and now I had to learn all this different crazy stuff, but thanks to Instagram, it just started growing, and I put in my bio, DM me for a braid, so I had people messaging me. That was all, October was the grand opening. By Christmas Eve and then New Year's Eve, I was still doing the DM for a braid. On New Year's Eve, every house I showed up to, something happened. It was a no-show. One girl, her dog ate Play-Doh, so she was at the vet. The other one was like, oh, I read your story and it said available tomorrow. I thought it was for tomorrow, not for today. Another person, just no-shows. So I always say the business really started on January 1st of 2019, because after New Year's Eve, I created a booking system. You had to go to Calendly and book me, and there was reminders, there was cancellation fees. Now this is my business. Still really had no idea what I was building. Fast forward to, I think it was May of 2019. I was working a braid bar at another boutique called Half and Half on Elmwood, and the braid bar started at 12. By 12:02, the wait list was full. I'm like, okay, it takes 15 minutes to do a braid, 15, 30, 45. I'm going through and I'm like, okay, wait list is full. The event hasn't even started yet. And then the owner of Half and Half was like, hey, my one employee knows how to braid. Her name was Jess, and she was my first employee. Basically, she hopped on this braid bar with me. I didn't even know who she was. She created beautiful braids, and then at the end I was like, so do you want a job? And that's how I ended up going this route of having employees. After a few days of having Jess on the calendar, her schedule filled completely up. My schedule was completely full. So literally 3 days in of having Jess as an employee, we were like, all right, we think we need to hire another person. And then our next hire was who Tori. So for a long time, it was me, Jess, and Tori. and Mo was an event braider at the time. She was our on-call. And we were just building Braid Babes. We were like doing festivals and braiding events and braid bar and just figuring this business out. When they started, there was no parties. We didn't know how to do feed-in. We didn't have tutorials. We were just figuring all of this stuff out. Even when it came down to the kits, we didn't even have bags for the kits. Just everything was different. But all of 2019, we just learned and kept building and changing and building and changing. 2020, we were ready to explode, and then we didn't explode. we grew the business about 3x of what it was in 2019, but obviously we were shut down about 4 months of the year. We also took that year to build a ton of tutorials that you're learning from. We also created the Facebook group where our community came together during COVID and all supported each other through it. And now we have expanded to Rochester and Nashville, and we're just starting to talk about our next city as well. And it's funny to look back on it all and think about like how it all started and where it started, and this small thing that I started as a hobby and what it grew into. And I'm really grateful, and it's been a lot of fun. And like I said, it's my whole life. I'm obsessed with Braid Babes. I love Braid Babes. I love the business that we've built together. The braiders really become best friends. They become my best friends. We all support each other, and I just feel so lucky to have everything that I have. So thank you.